Roger Goodell have conducted a cover-up of Ray Rice's brutal assault on his then-fiancée on February 15th. There is no other conclusion possible. Each body, each leading individual involved came to a judicial conclusion about what had happened to Janae Palmer and what should happen to Ray Rice, and each, through deception or incompetence, misled the public, damaged the efforts of every man and every woman in this country seeking to merely slow down the murderous epidemic of domestic violence, and made a mockery of the process by which those who batter those they claim to love are to be brought to justice. And not one of them, not Commissioner Goodell, not NFL Senior Vice President Adolfo Birch, not NFL Chief Counsel Jeff Pash, not Baltimore Team President Richard Cass, not Baltimore General Manager Ozzie Newsome, not Assistant Prosecutor Diane Ruberton of Atlantic County, New Jersey, not Prosecutor Jim McClain, not Superior Court Judge Michael Doino, not Ray Rice himself. No matter what actions were taken today against Rice, nor what might be taken in the future, none of them have any remaining credibility, and each must leave or be expelled from their current positions. And despite the obsession of the moment, it does not truly matter whether they had seen this video before today. The league, the team, the prosecutors either whitewashed Ray Rice's brutal assault without ever having seen this video, or they saw the video and whitewashed Rice's brutal assault anyway. I accuse prosecutors McClain and Ruberton and Judge Doino, even with the full weight of the law behind them, of failing to seek or failing to obtain or failing to act upon that in-elevator video, of failing to put Ray Rice in jail where he belongs. The state of New Jersey must immediately begin an inquiry into whether or not the failures of McClain and Ruberton and Doino are mere incompetence or if they rose to the level of criminal malfeasance. I accuse President Cass and General Manager Newsome of Baltimore of failing to act internally after the ludicrousness of the Rice two-game suspension should have become apparent even to them. They have had 6 weeks to add a team suspension to Rice's token league punishment, to try to make the scales of justice slightly less out of all balance. They did nothing until they terminated Rice's contract today, after all of them failed to get away with it. Mr. Cass and Mr. Newsome put the meaninglessness of their own team's financial and on-field success ahead of the safety and well-being not only of Janae Palmer, but of every woman in this country now threatened by a man who, because of how they covered for Ray Rice, was a little more confident that he can get away with it. I accuse Roger Goodell of conducting a kangaroo court by interviewing Janae Palmer Rice with Ray Rice present, in contradiction of all recommended practices when dealing with victims of domestic abuse, thus virtually guaranteeing that whatever testimony she gave them of the events of February 15th, they had the validity of a video made by a hostage with a gun to her head. Putting Janae Palmer Rice in a position to plead for her husband's career, perhaps at the risk of being beaten again if she failed, that Roger Goodell did. Seek and act upon the videotape that should have sent Rice to jail without bail, that he did not do. Commissioner Goodell, as I first said on this program on August 1st, must resign. If he will not do so, NFL owners must fire him, and fire Senior Vice President Birch and Chief Counsel Pash. Pash, of all people, should have known better than to put the victim on trial and to acquit without all the evidence. Mr. Goodell's ineptitude has not merely rendered this football season meaningless and irrelevant. By contrast, it has not only reduced supporting or watching NFL football to a distasteful, even a disrespectful act, but most importantly, it has comforted the violent and afflicted the victim. His push to increase NFL punishment of domestic abusers to roughly 1/3 that of repeat pot smokers, his decision today to suspend Rice indefinitely after the Ravens had fired him, are elements of classic tragedy wherein the right thing is finally done only after it is too late to matter. Roger Goodell's existence, who he is, what he has turned the NFL Commissioner's office into, is now symbolized by Ray Rice's brutal left hand striking Janae Palmer and striking her again. Mr. Goodell is an enabler of men who beat women. His position within the National Football League is no longer tenable. And I accuse Ray Rice of a brutal and potentially deadly assault, followed not by admission and contrition, but by a pious, self-serving, insincere, cynical, devious, manipulative, unapologetic performance to protect his job and his money at the expense of the truth, at the expense of the public, at the expense of the next woman he brutalizes. He has already had his second chance. This new video shows he had already squandered it. Ray Rice must never be allowed back in a National Football League uniform. And lastly, I accuse us.